Hey guys, so I'm at work right now, but two things I want to talk about real quick and make a video on. One being the power of your thoughts. So today in class, there was a girl, and it's a psychology class, so we were asked like a number of questions of what we think psychology is and what comes to our minds when humans think of psychology. And the girl that I was with, beautiful girl, very bright, and she said, well, you know what, like I've noticed so many things in this class, and mind you, it's our first day, and she's like, I noticed so many things, everyone's micro expressions, and I have a feeling and I understand like what people think of me now, because here I am in this class and I've seen the way people are looking at me and I know what they're thinking about me. And it was so interesting because I read people's micro expressions too, but I feel like sometimes we think we know what people are thinking about us. And yes, I agree, sometimes we have that intuition, but sometimes it's just our own trauma and shame that's coming out, and we have this own like perception of us, like through our insecurities or whatever it may be, and then we think that's what the other person is thinking about us. And so she was like, oh, have you watched that show, How to Tell a Lie? I forgot what show it was, but I know what she's talking about. And I was like, oh my god, yes, like that's how I got into micro expressions too. And then I explained to her, because recently on the trip I went on with my friend, I was reading someone's micro expressions, and I felt comfortable enough later in the night to ask that person, like, hey, like you were kind of scrunching your nose a little, like it looked like you were kind of judgmental about my appearance, like is that what you were thinking? Because we were already on the topic of insecurities and shame. And he was like, no, like, oh my goodness, like I was not thinking anything about your appearance. If anything, like my girlfriend and I were talking about you in this way, blah, 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 blah. And you can tell like how shocked he was. And that's the message here. And what I told this girl was that sometimes like I said earlier, we perceive people to be judging us. And then we get really insecure, or we get sad and upset, and then the whole time they're not even thinking that way. So stop letting like these negative thoughts like impede on your life, because it's so detrimental to your livelihood and how you go about your day to day, and it really influences the way you perceive life. And the whole time you could just be reading their micro expressions incorrectly, right? We can't read anyone's mind, and sometimes people are just thinking about themselves and judging themselves. Like, especially on the first day of class, I feel like everyone's always worried about being perceived a certain type of way, and if their questions come off stupid or not. So, well, that's my perspective, right? So you can't always think